But in 2014, I was approached by the developer of one of the biggest, the most modern public market. Oh, I call it not really public, but a private market in Abu Dhabi, where they were opening a huge state of the art, air conditioned meat market, fish market, and farm market in Mushrif Mall, and they call it D Market. And they invited me to sell Philippine meat products, but they said we don't have export. We don't export meat. We import meat, or whatever meat we have here is for domestic consumption, right? So, long story short, we ended up selling Australian beef, US beef, and and again, how would you compete? We were surrounded by 40 other butchers, meat shops in the same market.
So how did you compete?
And then we were below on the upper level. There was a huge supermarket like their SM there called Lulu, and they were also selling meat. So the cheapest meat you will find in the market. So I realized that if I go for the cheap or the standard supermarket meat, I wouldn't survive. I wouldn't be able to compete. So my wife told me, Joey, why don't you sell Wagyu and Angus? So I told him, who will buy a very expensive meat in a marketplace? You know, so well, anyway, she insisted, okay, why not? Why not try? So we started selling. And without any market research, we were able to, you know, fill in a gap.
So it did
Because
well.
there was a gap. There were high income individuals who were eating, who could only eat steaks or good meat in five-star hotels. And the products that are supplied to five-star hotels are directly doesn't go to the retail market. Same with Manila for quite some time. So, and nobody talks about brands like wine, right? Wine, you have different brands of wine. But meat was meat. Beef was beef and lamb was lamb, right? Even pork here is pork. There's no branding. There's no, it was not traceable. You wouldn't know who the producers were. You don't know the differentiation of what, the different marbling grades. Uh, then we we started getting customers. So one of the learnings there is, if getting into a market doesn't mean that you sell the cheapest product.
There's a demand for the
So
higher quality ones.
so if you have a good product. Oh, by the way, can I like flashback? Because I already went abroad, but before, sorry, it has something to do with the meat business, okay? When I moved to Manila from Cebu, because I work with SGV, right? I told you our family moved to Manila. We put up remember I mentioned about the bakery and catering business. My cousin from Iligan, Rene Stuart de Rosario, contacted me and wanted to do business in Manila. And because he saw that there was less opportunity in Mindanao at the time, so he went to Manila, and we spent some time together. And in fact, he was my mentor, because he was more experienced than me. He was older than me. He got into different kind of food business already. So he was my second inspiration after my mother, because Rene, my cousin, lived with us, with our family as well. So he was like a brother to me, my elder brother, and we're the only two guys who would understand about business, talk about business. And so in Manila, he thought like, why don't we sell wild boar? Like, what? Can you imagine? Have you tried wild boar?
No.
Nobody was talking. Organic was not talked about yet before. But he was talking, this guy was already so advanced, was already talking about wild boar, wild caught boar, wild pig. baboy damo in Tagalog or baboy sulup in Iligan. I go, what? Are you crazy? How can we do that? So, but I recall that in my mother's hometown in Iligan, it was a delicacy. It was something that it was it was a something that they would eat every day. It was next to our ancestral home. The guy who was the butcher was just right next to, exactly next door. And when I was young, I used to see it. I mean, they just like even cook it raw with vinegar. Eat it raw. Sorry, they eat it raw with vinegar. Or sometimes they cook it, they blanch it, and they call it, when they blanch it. So my cousin cooked it well, like, just boil it with hot water, just to cook it quickly, and that was how pinakurat was born. Have you heard? Do you like suka pinakurat?
Yes, I enjoy that sauce very much.
But you don't know where it's from,
No.
right? It's from Iligan. It's made by the same guy.
I
But it's
learned something
because
today.
pinakurat is a method of cooking of the wild boar.
Many things I can learn from from you.
That's why it's not pinakurat is not a generic terminology for vinegar.
Okay.
That's why it's protected. It's trademark protected because it's a unique name, and by the family of the Del Rosario family. So that's why it's sustained. So that spirit of enterprise is what we shared together. And I brought that, and then we sold wild boar in before the suka pinakurat was born. We were selling wild boar in Metro Manila. Can you imagine me, a CPA, a professional, delivering 10, 20 kilos of wild boar to Hotel Intercon, to Shangri-La Makati, to the
Yeah.
5-star hotels in Makati. Because I just love doing it. I mean, because it was in my blood, something that comes from the market. It's something unique, and the chefs, the foreign chef, the Europeans would pay any price for it, cash basis, on the spot. And I was pricing it. Of course, it was a very rare product, so it was price. It was basically premium, the first premium product I've ever sold. It was organic because it's wild caught. It was just natural, and it was highly in demand. And so it went on for a couple of years until the opportunity came for me, and me and my wife decided to go abroad. So I left it behind, the business with the family. So I just forgot all about it. Just focus on my new family, building a family, of I have 2 kids. So, and then after 7 years in Abu Dhabi, I got into business, and in 2014, the opportunity came to me to run a meat shop.
Okay. Very interesting journey. So thank you for sharing in detail all of that. But anyway.